Welcome. In this video, I'm just going to show you how to authenticate Next.js 14 apps using Clerk authentication, and allow me to take you through the demo of what you are going to build in this video. So right now I'm here on my landing page, okay, and the whole concept of authentication is about protecting pages against unauthenticated users, okay, and also identifying users, allowing them to create accounts or log in with already created accounts. So those are the functionalities you expect from authentication, not authorization. By the way, they are different, but in this case, we are going to work on authentication, okay? So you can authenticate, and we have been using next-auth. But I'm going to show you a better alternative to next-auth, very smooth, very better documentation, and definitely you should try this out in your Next.js apps. So I'm just going to show you what we have right now. So if you just go on our localhost 3000, this is the app on the localhost. You can able to browse through pages. I can go to the about page, okay. I can go to the services page, and these ones are not protected pages, but as you can see, they have no any protection. Any user can visit them. When they try to visit dashboard, if the user try to visit dashboard, you can quickly see that they are redirected to the sign in if they can sign in, okay. They can also even sign up, okay. They can also sign up and create new accounts. And that's not all. By the way, you have even also the sign up. You have the custom login and the custom sign up pages if someone wants to sign up, and you have also the login pages if someone wants to log in, okay. Now what happens when I log in? I can just go in, and I already have an account. If you don't have, you can sign up. And I'm just going to continue with Google for now. You can also use your email, okay. So when I sign in, you can see I'm here. Now this time, first of all, the login button has disappeared, and I have this user avatar where I click there, and I have the username, I have my avatar here, and the email. And that's not all. I have even the manage account page, okay. Look at this, guys. Look at this. You can even delete an account right away in the browser, okay. Let me close out of this. Now I can go to the dashboard, okay. If now I try to go to dashboard, I will be redirected to the dashboard, okay. And this is really great. And on dashboard, you see you can have a way of seeing the user ID. If you are having the backend, you are doing your full stack application and you need user ID, you have access to user ID. You have access to user details like first name, last name, everything you need to do. And now, one thing I'm just going to show you, you can also protect a bunch of routes. Instead of protecting, giving access to one by one, we are going to see how we can give access to these routes. So it's going to be massive. We are going to learn a lot of stuff in this video. So if you just stay up and just dive into the video. Welcome. In today's video, we are going to look at authenticating Next.js 14 using Clerk authentication, which is I think a better alternative to next-auth, and that is arguable. But after the end of this video, you will find out if it is somehow better or if it gives you a better developer experience. Now, if you have done authentication with next-auth or Auth0 or Supabase or Firebase, you understand that it has never been easier, and setting up authentication for your apps is one thing. Of course, if you are building full stack, it is one thing that you have to include in your app, okay. As we are building our inventory management system, By the way, you can check that system in the description. As you are building your systems and you are building full stack application, authentication becomes one of the most important things in your app. Now, one thing, if you have used next-auth before, you understand it is not something that is very easy to set up or to start running out of the box. And even figuring out things from the documentation has also never been easier. So there is this better third-party alternative called Clerk. There are so many other third parties you can use in your Next.js, and I will be tackling one by one. At least there is Superbase, there is Firebase, there is Auth0, there are so many others. But today I'm just going to take you through Clerk authentication, and I love Clerk. I love the simplicity and how they have done. I think in all other providers, Clerk comes out because they offer much out of the box, I think. And they are going to dive in, and you are going to look at how we are going to implement it both on the server side and on the client side. Okay, so here I have my Next.js 14 app actually up running. Okay, is not having really much things. I'm just having a simple home page. You can see this is a home page with some text here plus an image. Okay, and then I have these pages here. On the navbar, you can see I have the about page, services page, and even other pages like those ones. Okay, and then I have this image. It's just a button, doesn't do anything. I just put there for the sake. Okay, now yeah, so that is what we have on the home page. And I think I have also one link for the dashboard. Okay, I have one more link for the dashboard here. Okay, and we are going to see how we are going to implement all these steps. As I've told you, we are going to look at how to bring in Clerk and protect pages both on the front end and on the server side and on the client side. Okay, so Clerk is very easy to set up. The step number one, let's head to clerk.com. So just navigate to clerk.com. I think I will also leave the link in the description. If you don't find it, just simply type in clerk.com. Okay, and you can see they tell you here more than authentication, complete user management. So they give you a complete user management, and we are going to see that. So step number one, as I've said, after you have reached on this one, is just to sign up. Okay, so click on start building for free, or you can click on sign up button, and they will take you to this page. And this is actually the page they also just give you one of the components, but just simply sign up. If you don't have an account yet, me, I don't have an account, and I signed up using Google. So just simply sign up. Okay, just simply sign up. And for my case, I'm just going to sign in. I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in. Okay, so after signing in, you're going to be taken to the dashboard. Okay, and at first you will not have any apps. You can see me, I have a lot of apps. I already have one in they are all in development, and I've been just trying out things. Okay, so the first step is to add an application. Okay, just simply add an application, and I'm just going to click add, and I can simply add a name, maybe this is up. Okay, just like this, just add any name. And now this is a point whereby the name you put here, so if you see here the name I put here, it is actually the name that shows up here. Okay, sign into GitHub, you can see this name is here. So that is the application name that they're going to show up. So you can even here sign in to continue to GitHub. So this is the name they use on your authentication pages. Okay, and then here, this is a point where you choose how you will want users to sign in. Okay, there is this you can add. As you are adding, you can see people even use this. You see, use phone number. I'm just not going to use phone number, but they have it, and they do not have only that. they have all these components. Okay, you can add Facebook. You see how I click and it is added there. You can add Apple. You can just go ahead and add GitHub. So you see, you can have all these you can have all the authentication, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Dropbox, Twitch. They have all these stuff that you can use to sign in your users. I'm just going to stick to Google, I think, and the email, but you can leave others if you want. Okay. Now, after you have just chosen how your users are going to use, just simply create application. Okay, just click on create application, and they are going to spin up an application for you. Okay, and out of the box they give you the environmental variables. Okay, so they just tell you to create this. Paste the keys in the snippet code below into your .env.local file. So you can simply copy this .env.local, and we'll just go and create this file in the route. Okay, so just simply come here in the route and click, just paste in this .env.local, enter, and then copy this. Simply copy and paste this. Okay, so you can see step number 1, very easy to do things, and you can see they have a lot of quick start guides. Okay, they have a lot of quick start guides, and Next.js has been given the most priority. Of course, right now in the leading frameworks, Next.js is number 1 on top, and so they gave it a first priority in their documentation. You can see by default it is the one which is selected. You can select React, or you can select any you want, Remix, okay, Red Hood, Gatsby, and even if you're using Expo, look at this. So when we start React Native, we'll be still using Clerk. Okay, so right now just use Next.js and just click on continue in docs. Okay, and you can see how everything somehow really straightforward, and they start you here by default. It is Next.js is selected. Make sure everything you are doing Next.js is selected to avoid a lot of confusion. Okay, now after you make sure that you are on Next.js, now they give you a straightforward steps. Okay, so you can see here they tell you add authentication and user management to a Next.js app with Clerk. So the first thing they can tell you here, what you're going to learn to set, install Clerk, setup, blah blah, all those things. Okay, now you can just come here, and the first step is installing Clerk. So just simply copy npm. Okay, just copy this, or just click on this and just come to your app, open a new terminal, and you can simply paste this npm install Clerk Next.js. Okay, so as it is installing, let's continue seeing the next steps. So you can see the first step is installing Clerk, and as you move down, the second step is setting the environmental keys, or setting the environmental keys, of which we have already done, but they put it back in the steps, and this is what you call better documentation. You make sure that all the step people are guided, and there is no way you can get lost. So you can see after you have added the environment variables, the third one is to wrap your app in the Clerk provider. Okay, so you can see for sure this is really much better docs, and they give you for the both app router and the pages router. Of course, we are using the app router, so the pages router is still going on to those ones who don't want to shift to app router, but we are using the app router. So the thing is, in the app router they tell you the app, so the app layout.tsx or JSX file might be in your source folder if it is in your root folder. Okay, ours is straight in the root folder. So for this project, it makes sense to wrap the HTML element Clerk provider. This makes the active session and user context everywhere within your app. Okay, So simply just get this, the import the Clerk provider. Okay, just copy this, and you make sure that it installed successfully. You can scroll up here, you see that it installed successfully, and we can drop this off. And now we can head to app layout. Okay, and then here on top I'm just going to import Clerk provider, and then this Clerk provider, just wrap it throughout your app. You can just simply cut this, and then you put Clerk. You just put Clerk provider just like this. Okay, wrap, and then you can paste your HTML. Doesn't matter whether you actually put it inside the HTML or outside the HTML. Actually, I don't find it really mattering. Okay, let me just check. Expected. Okay, so you can just paste it inside the outside the Clerk, or even if you simply go here inside the where you have the body and you put it here, it doesn't matter, by the way. So do not feel obligated to put inside outside like this. Even if I just put inside here, the only most important thing is to make sure the entire app actually is protected. So just, even if I just come and I put Clerk provider just like this, and it is inside here, and I paste this, you make sure that the children, everything is inside the Clerk provider. Okay, that is the another step. You wrapping the Clerk provider inside your app. Okay, and that is clear and clean. You can just do that, and they just say the root layout is server component. If you plan to use Clerk provider outside the root layout, it will need to be a server component as well. Okay, now if you do that, so you can see that they say require authentication to access your app. Now that the Clerk is installed and mounted to your application, you can decide which pages are public and which should require authentication to access. Okay, so step number 4 is to create a middleware.js file. If you're using TypeScript, just use middleware.ts. If your application uses the source directory in a middleware file, you should be placed into this. If you're not using, then place the middleware in the root. Okay, so they just say copy and paste the following code into your middleware with this entire application cell. Okay, so right now I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and just go to, now let's see what happens to the app right now. If you see right now everything is still okay, I can go to everywhere I want. I can go to about, I can go to services, I can traverse through all this. Okay, this is cool. Okay, and before, by the way, I create the middleware, let me just take through the parts I have. I have the navbar. Let me show you my navbar. So in the components, I have the nav, and these are small things I expect everyone to be knowing to do up to this point, but let me just take you through step by steps. I have all my nav items here. Okay, and this is the navigation, and in navigation I have the logo, this one which says the sub, and the hexagon icon. Okay, and it is inside the link. Then I have this button. This is the button that is having the image, this one. And if you're wondering why it is at the end, it is having the order to in the MD. You can see MD order to. And then we have the nav links, and the nav links I'm simply mapping through the nav items. You remember I created the nav items there, which is the one that is having the links. You see that I'm having all these links here. I have this one supposed to be contact. Okay, so that is one thing. So you can just go here. I did this path name. So if you're wondering how I'm being able to put this active, by the way, Some people struggle to put this. Okay, so you can also learn it from here. To put the active state just on these buttons, it shouldn't be hard. Just simply use path name. You just say const path name and get this path name from next navigation, and doing that only makes this one a client component, and we have to use client if you're using the next navigation. Okay, so you can just do whatever you want here. Okay, you can just say if the path name is equal to item.href. Okay, so it will be comparing this here. If they are the same, then it makes that active. So you can see I have the active state. Okay, I have the active state and the non-active state. Okay, so that's cool. There is nothing much more than that. Okay, you can just remove all these dark thing everywhere. Okay, so now that is one thing. That is one thing we can do. Okay, so now after I have taken you through, there is these pages. If you just go on the pages, there is nothing much onto those pages for sure. I have also a hero section, which is just having these texts here. Okay, the h1, the p tag, and the image on the hero section, and the hero section is the one on the home page here. This one. Okay, and I will leave the code, I will leave the link, the GitHub link of this code in the description, so you can actually have a look at it. I have also these pages like services. You can see there is nothing much in that page. Okay, so now that you have the picture of how my page is structured, up to this point we have done about 2 steps. What we did first is signing up and getting the keys. So we have our keys here. Okay, that was the first step. After signing up, we got the keys. Okay, just close that. We got the keys. Now after that step, we just went ahead and installed Clerk. After installing Clerk, now we went step, of course it was the steps here. They have the steps they have given us here. So now the next step we are actually doing, we have already wrapped. So we did this step of wrapping the Clerk provider in our app, and everything went well. Now the next step is creating the middleware file. So just go to your root here and simply create a new file, call it middleware, and the name should be actually middleware. You can't name it anything else. So just create middleware.js, as simple as that, and just paste in all this code. Okay, and this looks like the middleware of Next.js, but they just modified it to this one. Okay, so they just you import middleware from Clerk, and they say this example protects all routes. By the way, it is good that you read the documentation, or you read whatever they have provided. That's how you learn how to read documentation. This example protects all routes, including API TRPC routes. So if you're using TRPC, they could also protect them, including even the API routes. Please edit this to allow other routes to be public as needed. See, they even give you the documentation reference of the auth, more information about configuring the auth. So if you do this, only doing this means protecting all routes that you have in your application, including the app. Everything is now protected, and that is very cool, because if you think about it, you might have actually more pages you want to protect than the pages that are going to be public. So by default, they actually protect all pages, which actually makes sense to me. They start by protecting all pages, and now you can specify which pages are actually accessible without authentication. Okay, so if you just do that, and you try now to actually just go like step by step in a second, but I'm just going to go back to the documentation here. Okay, so they tell you that, and now Okay, you see here, try accessing your app now by visiting localhost 3000. The middleware will direct you to the sign up page. If you want to make other routes public, check the auth middleware reference, and you're going to click on this middleware reference in the next page here so that we understand what we are going to do next. Okay, now let's just go ahead, go back to our, just going to put this up here, and let me try to refresh. Okay, let me try to refresh. I'm refreshing my app. Now you will see that after refreshing, this is what happens. Okay, so this is the step they are saying here. Okay, try now to access your app. After you visit this one, the middleware will now redirect you to the sign up page. If you want to make other routes public, check out the auth middleware reference, and this is the one I have opened. I've opened here in this page. Okay, now let's just do, because we don't want all the pages, more especially including the page like localhost 3000, or even the pages that you see here. So like about services, these normal pages, we don't want to protect them. Okay, and I'm doing this traversing you the documentation so that you understand all this, how to move through the documentation. So the app auth middleware helper integrates Clerk authentication, blah blah, and this is the one that helps you protect everything. Okay, so this is how it looks like right now. Okay, so now if you just move down, they have a lot of things you can actually use. So with recommended match, all routes are protected by Clerk authentication middleware. So with exception of internals of the next, they don't protect those ones, and they start generated files. So they say Clerk, to protect your every route, use ignore routes options. So you're just going to look at that one. Ignore routes. There is ignore routes and public routes. Okay, we're just going to look at that in a second. Then they say this one, using after auth for the fine grained control. They have this after auth. We are not going to use the after auth. Okay, but there is also before auth. Okay, and then the most important ones is making pages public using public routes. So they say by default, Clerk middleware treats all routes as private if the middleware runs. If you need to make specific routes public, use the public routes option. Okay, so now if I just come here and copy these public routes, and I try and I put it inside, I put inside, not here, inside the middleware, just open this object and put this here. Okay, so now if you try to access the route, the localhost 3000, now this one will not be protected. And why it is not protected is because we have this route here. Okay, so you see this one, public routes, and if you just simply put this one, and it means that your localhost 3000 is now not protected. Okay, if I try to visit any other page apart from localhost 3000, like the about page, you will see that now they will check and they will take me to the sign up page. And that means all your pages you don't want to people to sign in, like the about page, what you can actually put them here. So if I want to put other routes, okay, I can just go and copy all my routes in maybe in the navbar. Let me just go and see this. Okay, you have the home, I have the about, services, all those kind of pages. So you can just come here in the middleware, and then you can just see. I'm just going to, of course, to show you another hack, but for now, you just go ahead and say, for instance, about. Okay, and then you put services. Okay, and so we can just leave just like this, like these ones. We can just simply leave that. And now if I just go back to the localhost 3000 about, you see now I can visit that page without being asked the authentication. Okay, so you can see out of the box we have pages protected. Okay, like this, to do this in the next using next-auth is not easy. Okay, it's not easy, but still I will actually make another video about next-auth, simplifying everything and even how to use the middleware. Okay, so we have now the pages. We have removed some protection from some of these pages. Now, of course, the most important thing is starting accessing some things. So we have seen you can have pages protected, and already, for instance, our dashboard, it can get protected. Okay, so if I just go try to access our dashboard, for instance, we want people who will go to the dashboard, they should be typically signed up. Okay, now the thing is, you can actually sign up people right away. Okay, so if you just go to the dashboard, it's going to take us to sign up, and actually we can sign up. Okay, you can use the email or you can use Google. I'm just going to use Google, and you can see here they give you, then you have to authorize. I'm just going to use that. Okay, I'm just going to use that. You can see it is now redirecting back to the dashboard. So after you have successfully signed up, they take you to the dashboard, and by the way, this user now is now on the dashboard, and you can see now they give us congratulations, you have 1 active users. So they have all this user management, and you can tell you 1 signups, 0 sign-ins. Okay, they give you all the stats, and they even go you and they give you the recent signups. Okay, they give you recent signups, everything just like that. You have them in your account, and you have access to the dashboard. Now on the dashboard, let's start getting access to some of the things. Okay, let's continue with the docs. Okay, so the first thing they also give you is you can first of all embed the user button. So Clerk offers a set of pre-built components to add functionality to your app with minimal effort. The first one they give you is the user button. Allows users to manage their account information and logout, and completing the full authentication cycle. Okay, so for instance, apart from before actually putting in the user button, which we are just going to see, actually just use the user button. So on the user button, this one, yeah, you are seeing here, this user button is this one I was trying to mimic here. Okay, is what I'm just I was trying to mimic here. Okay, so if someone is authenticated, we want to see this button, but let's first see one thing before putting in this the user. What we want to do is to see people who are not authenticated. What should we show them? Okay, actually let me just put this button so that they can sign out. So we can get this button very easily working. I'm just going to right click, copy this button, go to the navbar. Okay, you can just go to the navbar, and we have here our user button. So I can completely just remove this. Okay, I'm just going to completely just remove all this. Okay, this div here, I'm just going to simply put this the user button. Okay, just paste this user button right now, just like that, and we can import this from the Clerk, and you can see after sign out you can even specify the URL where someone should go. Okay, for now let's just use the home page. just like that. And after putting that, let's just go back to our app here. Okay, let me just reload and let's see the button they give you. Okay, and they give me this button, and look at it, how nice it is. There it is loading. A second. Okay, okay, so we have our button. Now this one is not the one I had put. Okay, now this one is a fully functioning button. You click on it and look at this, guys. Look at this. Okay, look at this. They give you all this out of the box. Okay, so you can sign out. Okay, you can sign out, and of course you can sign out, and if I sign out from here, you can see the user button disappears. Okay, so the user button is gone. Okay, the user button is gone, and that's the beauty with that. So we have the user button, and of course I think we can show something here like login or something, but they just continue and I show you how to do that. So we have the user button put inside the let me just see here, go step by step. Okay, so now after we have put, you see you can sign in and you can sign out. Okay, now let's just look at the next steps. Okay, now the next steps, instead of creating the custom sign in, let's just go here where you say read user and session data. Just click onto this one. Okay, so now read session and user data in your Next.js app with Clerk. So they start, you can start with the server side. They have the server side and the client side, and very well they tell you in the app router. So we use auth and current user app router specific helpers. You can use inside your route handlers, middleware, and server components, even server actions. Okay, they take you step by step. Now we have the auth, and this one, it returns the authentication object of the current active user now that the request data is available in the global scope. Okay, so the current user will return the user object of the currently active user. So it is helper, blah blah. They give you all this information. Okay, and we're just going to use it in a second. For instance, they can give you in the server components. This example uses the auth helper and validates this. Now you can access you can access the, for instance, the user ID. If for instance you're having a third-party app whereby you need to save in the database or to query in the database, and you're going to see this one is very, very important. Okay, if you want to save data based using the user ID, so the user ID is found onto this, and let's just go to the let's just go copy this, and I'm just going to go to the dashboard. Okay, I'm just going to go to the dashboard, and I can put a link to the dashboard here on the hero section so that it is very easy for us. On the hero section where we have control get started here, I'm just changing this and I make it go to dashboard, I'm just going to put here to the dashboard. I'm just going to put it here, dashboard. I think there is some R somewhere, so I'm just going to put the link. Okay, I'm just going to change this to the next link. Okay, just going to change this to the next link. I'm just going to put /dashboard, just like this. Now I can just now go to the dashboard from here. Let me just reload the page, and we can go to the dashboard. Okay, and now since we are not authenticated, we can now sign in. Just continue with Google. Okay, so now you just authorize just like that. Okay, you can just now authorize just like that, and they are redirecting us to the dashboard. Okay, so now when you go to the dashboard, and because there is a user already, you can see the user here. We can start getting some details of this user, and we can use it in different ways. Okay, so let me just go to the dashboard. Okay, I'm just going to go to page dashboard here. So the first thing you can just do is you have access to some of these things. Okay, for instance, let me first take this one off. For instance, we can use the auth. So they give us this auth. By the way, just understand that there are two major functions. We have this auth, and the auth, the first purpose of the auth is to give you the current ID. So wherever you want the user ID, anywhere in the server components, I'm just going to repeat this. Wherever you want a user ID in any server components, simply use the auth. And from the auth, you can extract the user ID. Okay, so you can just go here. If user ID, I can just say console.log user ID. Okay, and just close other pages. By the way, just close other pages. We don't need them right now. Just need only this dashboard page. Okay, so I just going to console this. Okay, if I just now go to my dashboard and reload the page, I don't think I don't need to even reload. Just go to the console. Okay, let me just go to the console, and we can see here. Okay, I'm just going, and you can see the user IDs here. So this is the user ID. Okay, that is the user ID, and you can also just show it here actually on the screen. Okay, you can just go here and I put a p tag. Okay, and I say user ID, and I put this, and I put here. Okay, I put here user ID. Okay, so they give you the user ID with ease. Okay, and this user ID, you can save it in your database, you can use it, and you can see the user ID is here. Okay, cool. That is one thing. Now let's move on. That's not the only thing that we need, more especially on the user. The second thing is they can get you the user's information from the current user. Okay, that's why they give you this. Of course, to use the await, you just simply need to make this one async, as simple as that. Now here we have the current user. Now from this user, we can look at what is inside. I'm just going to go ahead and also console.log the console.log user. Okay, you can just go ahead and console.log user, and let's just come here, refresh. Current user await. Current user is not defined. Okay, I have to get this. The current user. Make sure you get also the current user from up here. Okay, get the auth and the current user. Guys, get these two from Clerk, Next.js. Okay, let's reload the page. Just a second, it is going to reload, I guess. What? It's saying current user is not defined, and it is defined. Just wait a second. Okay, so we are good. Okay, so now if I just go to the console, let me just open the console here. Okay, just open the console. Now look at this. You have all these details of the user. Okay, so you have the user ID. We have these all these things here. Okay, band, two-factor authentication. The most important ones is you have the image URL. Okay, so you can use the image of the user in any place you want. Okay, you can actually have anything you want. You can make the image of the user in any place you want, because you have the image URL, you have it here. Okay, and you have these other details which are not having data, like gender, birthday, and they have this primary email ID. You have all these things. You have the first name, last name. Okay, then they go ahead and they give you even the email addresses. Okay, then they give you the phone numbers. Okay, they give you all this stuff, guys. Okay, so you can just use like the first name and last name. Okay, you can just use the first name and last name. For instance, I can just come here and I say user details. Okay, user details, and I can just come here and I say h2. I can just say, for instance, first name. Okay, first name is going to be, so here I'm just going to have user dot. Okay, and you see you have all these things here very nicely here, and I can just say first name. Okay, and then I can also have a p tag of last name. Okay, you can just have this here, user dot last name. Okay, and since I just use flex here, I'm just going to say flex core, and let's just say gap of maybe 6. Okay, and if you just come here, I'm just going to look at all the details of the user. So you can see I have these user details. I have the first name, last name, access to these ones. Okay, so you have all these details about the user that you can do stuff with. Okay, and you get them easily with ease. Okay, so that is one thing that you can just do. Now let's look at the client side, because this is server side. Okay, server side, this is how you get things. Use this. This is the same as the way we use the get server session in the next-auth. Okay, but here you have this straight away out of the box with ease. Now let's just go down to the client side. So in the client side, you have this called use auth. Okay, you have the use auth hook. So guys, remember in the back in the server side, we have two hooks. We have the auth and the current user. On the client side, you have the use auth. The use auth hook is a convenient way to access the current auth state, and this can help us control whatever we want. Okay, first of all, so like in the wherever you're using use client, that is the client component. For instance, where I have this navbar, if you remember very well, in our navbar, where is the navbar? So in the components, navbar is actually, this one is a client component. Okay, so now I'm just going to simply now use it here to do some things. Okay, so I'm just going to go back, and now what I just simply need to do is to get these ones first. Okay, and where is it? Okay, okay, it is here. My navbar is here. I'm just going to go on top of this nav links, minimize these ones down here. I'm just going to put this. Okay, so first get the use auth. Okay, get it from Clerk, the use auth, and the use auth, you can see they are all client is a client side, and now they give you a lot of stuff. For instance, you still have access to this loading state. Okay, if it is not loaded and there is no user ID, you can just say return null. Okay, so you could just put loading state here. You could put a spinner, you could put anything. Okay, you could put anything here really. Then you have the session ID, you have even a get token. So you have all these things just in case you want to use them. Now I could also check if there is no user ID. For instance, where I'm showing here, where I have this user button here. Okay, I could first check if there is the user ID. Okay, if user ID is there, if it is there, then I can show this. Else I can show some other component. Okay, I can show the maybe the login. Okay, I can just say here button and just show some button, I think button or a link, whatever, but just going to show, for instance, here a button which says login, maybe something like this. Okay, so you could just have something like this that only shows up when there is the user ID. Okay, and you have here the user ID. Okay, and you could also just use this like loaded is true and everything is true, then you show this here. But since we have this check, that one is not necessary. So if you just do that, it will be conditionally showing this. Okay, if I go out and sign out, okay, if you sign out, you see first of all you'll be redirected to 3000. Okay, localhost 3000 here, and you just see the nav bar. I don't know, it is, I think this one that is saying if it is no user ID, return null. Okay, now you would better have a better treatment of this one. Okay, you'd have a better treatment of this one. You can see that the whole nav bar it is returning null, meaning it is not returning anything. This one, it is the one which is running right now. If I just return here, for instance, login, maybe if I just say right here the word, maybe p tag, okay, you say whatever I write there, you will see that this is what is working. Okay, you can see here, that means this part, it is the one which is saying if it's not loaded or there is no user. Now you could just say this. Okay, if it is not loaded, maybe you could show a loading spinner or whatever. Okay, and you just put whatever you need this. Okay, you could remove this, and maybe you check is loaded, or if there is no user. Okay, you could check and you just return here, else you return something else. Okay, for now I'm just going to take off this one. Okay, just going to take off this one, and we have here the login button. It's just because of this check I'm doing here. Okay, I have this check here that is checking the user, and maybe just having this button which is really not doing anything right now. And that's how you get, you have also access to the you have access to the user ID. Okay, and you still have in the client, they also give you this one, use user. Okay, so you have the use user, which now gives you access to the actual user, where you can also access the first name, last name, and all that information. Okay, so we have this use user. You can also just try it. They give you also use the user. Okay, I think the one you're using here. There is use auth, guys, and then there is this use user. Okay, so use auth gives you the ID. That is the most important one. It gives you the ID, but then we have this use user, which gives you access to, you can actually just like remove this. You can just remove it from one place. So you see that you have the user now, and you can just split, or you can use the user information wherever you want it. Okay, you can have the user information and on the client side. So if I just say console.log user, now this we can access it on the client side. Okay, if I just go F12 and I go on the console, you can actually see, we can see the, and at first it can, I think, be loading. We are not authenticated. Let's try to go to the dashboard for now. Okay, and let's just sign in. Okay, just sign in. Just sign in to the app. Okay, we are on the dashboard. We have these details. Let's go back to the, and you see now in the, if you just go back to the home page, you see that we have all these objects. So you can see we have this object as AE, but this object gives you all the powers. Okay, you have all these powers. More especially, you have the first name and the full name. Okay, you have the ID. Okay, you have the image, you can use it. You have even last name. Okay, so you have all this information you can get from the user, and the most common information we have already seen in most apps. Okay, and you get them with so much ease. Okay, and now after those ones, I'm just going to show you some stuff now. After we have done, this is the basic usage. What you need to understand, there are four hooks. The 2 hooks on the client and the 2 hooks that are important on the server. We have the auth and client user on the server, and then we have use auth and use user on the client side. After finishing those ones, now you can start diving into some other things, and those are the most use cases if you're just building the full stack application. But there are some more other things, more especially with the routing. Okay, more especially with the routing. When you go to this, they have these public routes and all that kind of stuff. I want you to go and see where you have the auth middleware here. There are options you can path, and in one of these options is that you can, first of all, pass in the API routes. Okay, a list of routes that should return 401. You can use the globe pattern to match multiple routes and blah blah. But the one I find very interesting is, of course, there is this ignored routes, a list of routes that should be ignored by the middleware. This list typically includes routes for static files or Next.js internals. For improved performance, these routes should be skipped using the default config matcher instead. Okay, so the one that I wanted to show you is this public routes, and we have already used the public routes. But if you read here very well, is that you can protect a bunch of routes using this statement. Okay, maybe you want to protect all the don't protect all the front end, so you can just create a folder here. Okay, you can create a folder maybe called front end. Let's just demonstrate that. If I create a new folder here called front end, Okay, just like that. And inside this front end, I create a new folders like let's just say front end about. Okay, you create this one, and inside, of course, you create the page. Okay, page.jsx, and I'm just going to go to this, copy everything that is here, just Ctrl C, go to this front end page, and just paste in all this. Okay, and then after that, let me create another page, a new folder, and let me just going to say dive, maybe whatever page you want to create inside there, page.jsx. Okay, so if you just paste like this, okay, and even if you just created, so we have dive about, front end about, and front end dive. So if we just go ahead and sign out, I'm just going to go ahead and sign out just like this. Okay, if I just go ahead and I sign out, and I'm trying to access the front end pages I created, front end, okay, and then like about this page here, you see that this page is protected. I just go back. Let me just try to access also the dive, the front end, and then I'm just going to say dive. Okay, just like that. You see that also this one is also protected. Okay, so instead of having a route just like this, okay, so now we want to give access to all the routes that are inside the front end. Okay, and using whatever they are listed here in the public routes, you can match something of this kind. So let me just copy this route here, just like that, and just go to our middleware. So all the access is in the middleware. So just go in the middleware.js, and in the public routes, let me just put a comma and put this. So instead of this bar, let me put front end. Okay, front end. Okay, so this should protect, should give access to all folders that are inside the front end. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, where is our app here? And then just go back. Okay, now let's again refresh, and this time let me try to dive into front end about. Okay, so you can see now I can go to front end about. Let me just go to dive. Okay, front end dive. Okay, so you can see I'm on front end dive. So this gives you the capability. By the way, this one is the dive. Okay, just change here to dive. This is very powerful because now instead of putting things in just like to put one link like this, okay, you can simply put them in a route. Okay, you can just simply put them in a route, and then that would be so much dramatic, or to just change your life so much. Okay, instead of just doing one by one just like this, you simply put the whole folder, and then they give you all this protection out of the box. You'll be just like you have skipped the stuff here. Okay, now for sure the documentation has a lot of stuff. You cannot finish when you start here. You cannot finish. They have the backend. So what I just suggest is that if you want me to make a very solid stuff, diving into more detail than this, you can let me know. Okay, but this one we should get you start running, and there is where you can make the making public routes. There is where they say if you are building your own sign in pages, You don't need to add these pages to your public routes. They will just need to be inferred in. So if you're just building in your own public routes, please mention to add these in your own in the document in your .env file. Just indicate these routes. And if you just go back to where we were in this first where is it, the documentation somewhere, where we're asking us the next steps. I think it was down before this, I don't know. Okay, on this there is here, you can see they have client side helpers. They even have another additional methods. And if you click on creating your own, build your own sign in and sign up pages, it is also very easy. For instance, they say Clerk offers a set of pre-built components and custom flows you can use to embed sign in and sign up other than the user management function in your app. So you can create your own. Okay, for instance, they just say build up your own sign up page. So they say create a new file that will be used to render the sign up page in the file. Okay, so what you simply do is you create this. I'm just going to copy this. Simply copy this route the way it is. Okay, it is sign up stroke, and then they have this syntax. Just do that. Okay, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to go in my app just like that, and just click on your folder. I'm just create a new file, not a new folder, create a new file and paste it this way. Okay, so this of course will create a new sign up page. So you see it has sign up, inside it has this. I'm just going to change this from TSX to JSX. So just say JSX, just like so. And inside this page, simply paste in this. Okay, simply paste in this here like this. Yeah, so this is now your own. This is your own now, your own sign up page. Okay, okay, just go back. So you have this, and they tell you here you can import the sign up. Make sure you import the sign up from the Clerk. So with only that, you have your own sign up. Okay, we can test it, and of course you can customize this. I'm going to show you in a second why. So now if I try to link this, maybe they just go to our hero section. And by the way, since we have done this, we can just go and do what they said here. If you are building your own sign up pages, you don't need to infer these in public routes. Simply copy these. So I'm just going to copy these environmental and just simply place them in .env here. Okay, just simply put them in here, just like this. Done. And just going to go back here. Now I'm just going to put some links on my hero section. Where is hero section? So here on the hero section, after this button, there is another one, another link. Okay, there is this other link. I'm just going to add this one to be sign up. I just say sign up. So I'm just going to add this one, sign up, and I can turn this to be a link also. Just a link, and just put this one to be stroke sign up. Okay, you can see the route here is sign dash up, sign up, just like that. Sign up. Okay, so you can create your own sign up page. Okay, let's go here and see if we have everything still. Just go to back to this front page. Okay, just go to the front the front page. Okay, just go back to the front page. Just go to the front. I just want to go to the, okay, so I'm just on the front edge and I have this sign up. Okay, if I click on sign up, let's see. Just click. Okay, okay, so we have the sign up page here. Okay, so you see I've clicked sign up and I have the sign up, but of course it is looking just like this. Okay, so the good thing with this one is that you can start styling it the way you want. And if I just go back to the sign up page here, you see we have this, there is no styling, and by default it will be like this. Okay, but you can give it a touch. Okay, you can give it a touch by just going inside here, and let's give it a div. Okay, let me just put a div, and I can of course start giving start with a class name. Of course, I'm just going to give flex as you suspected, justify, center, line, items. I can just say items center. Okay, I can go ahead and give also a min height. Okay, a min height of screen, and I can just go ahead and paste this the sign up. Okay, and now it should just somehow shift to the center. I believe so. Yep, so you have this right in the center. Okay, now you could of course go ahead and customize even more things like the background. I like this one which is there right now, but you can go ahead and customize it to look the way you want the background, and you sign up people whenever you want. Okay, so that means you can add the button to the sign up. You can add also the button like the way we did here to the login. Okay, let's just do that. For instance, you can also do the same thing for the login. If I just continue here, okay, build your own sign in page, you do the same thing, create a new file that can be used to render the sign up. Okay, in the import sign up, so this is the same thing. You have the sign in exactly the same way. So I'm just going to simply change. I will just create this. Okay, I'm just going to create that route for the sign in. To just go to the app, create a new file and paste this. Change this one to JSX. Okay, JSX, just like that, and just simply I'm just going to go ahead and paste in the code that is in the sign up. Just go to the sign up, just copy this the way it is, simply paste it in the sign in, and just instead of sign up, just say sign in. Okay, sign in, and I can remove the sign up. As simple as that. I also have the login page, and in the header now, here where I have this one, I can add the login link. Let me just go there in the navbar. I'm just going to find the login button. Okay, this one, I'm just going to change this into a link. Okay, just going to change this into a link, and of course I will just go ahead and specify the href. Okay, I'm just going and specify the href, which is just the login, just like that. So now you can specify the login button. You can just come here, and here you can see it is create an account, and it is on the sign up. Okay, I can just go ahead and create the login. So if I click on the login, someone now should be gone to the sign in. Okay, that is weird. They're saying the sign in, he couldn't find the sign in. Let me see what I've just put there. It is log in. Okay, it is actually sign in, guys, don't put your own routes. The route is sign dash in. Okay, that is also very important to know the routes that you created here. The route is sign in, not login. Okay, so now I just want to refresh. Now let's go back here to sign in, and what? You have the sign in. Let me just first check. We have the sign in. Let's first check the actual stuff. Sign in page. Okay, so sign up. We have the sign in. I don't know. Of course, the other said they said we update this. The environmental, I think we have already done that. Okay. The localhost sign in. Ours is giving us a 404. Okay, I have no idea why. App. Okay, we have app sign in. Let me just confirm. And this is how it's supposed to be. App sign in. There is app sign up. The sign up is working, but the sign in is the one which is not working. I don't know why I have messed up. Let me just check my environmental variables. They are all there, sign up and the sign in. Okay, and for the sign up is there. I just say, okay, sign up is there, and now the sign in is not there. Okay, let me just change a little bit. Sign up, sign in. Oh, sorry. So we created another app. Okay, we created another app. Let me just, you can see here we created it another app, and then we have another app here. Sorry for that. The only thing I can just do is dragging this folder into the app. Okay, drag the sign in into the app just like that, and I can delete this other app that is inside. Okay, delete the app. Okay, let's first see the other one, the first one to move. Let me first leave this one. I don't know if the other one has moved. I still have this one in the app. Let me just move it here. Just move this. So I had created another app. That was a mistake. You can just simply create it in the route, and it seems it's just delaying me. I'm just going to delete it. Delete this one. Continue. Okay. Delete, and let me just, what is that? Okay, let me just create a new one. So in the app, this time let's be careful. In the app, just go back here. Where are the pages? Okay, it was just the same thing. Okay, just go up here. The thing, just copy from here. Okay, we are already in the app, so just click on the app and create a new file, this one, and let me just put JSX just like that. So just copy this the way it is here. In fact, I just copy the one inside the sign up, just this, to make sure it is also in the center. So just paste this, and instead of sign up, just say sign in. Okay, as simple as that. So now this time Okay, okay, this time you can see we are on the sign in, and you see we have sign in. So we have the custom sign in page and the sign out page, so you can use them the way you want in your route, wherever you want to put people to sign in or to sign up. And out of the box they give you all this nice design stuff. Okay, so yeah, I think also in one of the episodes I will try to expose or to create components really similar to Clerk, but this time using next-auth. I think that would be good, and if you like that concept of like rebuilding the same components that Clerk gives us, but this time we build them in next-auth, using next-auth, I would be so much interested in doing that project. And if you want something like that, please let me know in the description. Okay, so right now we have route protecting, we have access to the data, we have all these crazy things we have done. We have access to different things. We can have access to the user ID, user details. We have, even if we log in here, after you have logged in, you have even access to the they give you this whole nice button that you can use on your application. This, and by the way, if you click on manage account, they have this covered. Okay, someone can add another email. Okay, look at this, guys, look at this. You can even delete an account right away in the browser. So they have this profile, the profile page. Okay, they have this profile page, and definitely I should build this with next-auth. Okay, we should just like see how you can do this with next-auth. It is not easy, but something, if we do it, it will be so much important. Okay, but they give you all these things out of the box. I don't need to hassle with it. Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode. We have covered a lot of stuff. They even have the backend APIs I've not touched on. But thank you so much for watching this episode. And if you like this kind of video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can keep getting content like this one. Thank you. See you in the next one.